It winds through the heart of the country, wide, powerful, and ancient. A lifeline for birds, fish, insects, amphibians, and thousands of species. For centuries, the river has carved valleys and fed entire ecosystems. But now, something terrible is happening beneath its surface and along its banks. Something so dangerous that wildlife is vanishing, and entire food chains are breaking. This is the Mississippi River, and it may soon be too toxic for animals to survive. Stretching over 2,300 miles, the Mississippi is the second longest river in the U.S. It supports over 260 species of fish and hundreds of migratory birds. Its floodplains nourish forests, marshes, and wetlands that shelter rare creatures. But over the past 50 years, this vital artery has been poisoned, slowly, silently. And today, pollution levels are reaching critical thresholds for animal survival. Let's begin with agricultural runoff, the river's most relentless and devastating pollutant. Across the Midwest, industrial farms pour fertilizer onto vast fields every season. Much of it doesn't stay in the soil, it washes into streams and rivers. This runoff is rich in nitrogen and phosphorus, which trigger algal blooms. The algae spread fast, choking the water of oxygen that fish need. Entire stretches of the river become dead zones, lifeless, silent, oxygen-depleted corridors. Fish float to the surface. Amphibians disappear. Turtles abandon their nesting grounds. Insects like mayflies and dragonflies, vital to the food chain, can't survive in these zones. And the damage doesn't stop there. Pesticides used on crops also wash into the river with every rain. Compounds like atrazine and glyphosate disrupt hormones in fish and amphibians. Male frogs are developing female organs. Fish are born with deformities and blindness. Even birds that feed along the banks ingest toxins through contaminated prey. These chemicals don't just kill, they mutate, feminize, and sterilize entire species populations. Then there's the industrial waste, which still seeps into the river daily. Power plants, factories, and meatpacking plants discharge heavy metals and chemicals. Mercury, arsenic, lead, and PCBs accumulate in fish and aquatic mammals. Predators like eagles, otters, and raccoons ingest these toxins through their food. Liver damage, reproductive failure, neurological issues, it's a death sentence spread by diet. Yet enforcement of clean water laws is weakened in recent years. Polluters often self-report violations, with little consequence or public attention. And as climate change brings more flooding, old pollutants resurface in violent waves. But the most terrifying threat may be something you can't even see. Microplastics now pollute nearly every mile of the Mississippi River. These tiny plastic particles come from synthetic clothing, packaging, and degraded trash. Aquatic life mistakes them for food, filling their bodies with indigestible poison. Studies show fish, mussels, and even plankton are riddled with plastic. And larger animals, including birds and mammals, are not immune. Once these particles enter the food web, there's no turning back. All of this has a devastating impact on biodiversity in the Mississippi Basin. Species that once thrived here, like paddlefish, sturgeon, and hellbenders, are now endangered. Bird populations like kingfishers and herons have declined sharply in recent decades. Mussels, which clean the water and stabilize riverbeds, are vanishing at record rates. Even insects and worms in the sediment are dying, which collapses the food chain. And yet, the Mississippi River still flows. Still beautiful. Still powerful. Still full of life, though less with each year. The tragedy is not just what's already happened, it's what's still to come. Because if nothing changes, this river may soon become uninhabitable for wildlife. A flowing body of water, stripped of the life it once gave. What can be done? Plenty, but only with bold, immediate action. Farmers can reduce runoff through regenerative agriculture and buffer zones. Cities must invest in stormwater treatment and green infrastructure systems. Factories must be held accountable for the waste they release. And stricter national water protections must be enforced, not just written into law. Ordinary people can also make a difference. Using less plastic. Supporting sustainable agriculture. Volunteering for cleanup programs. Pressuring lawmakers to treat rivers like lifelines, not dumping grounds. Because the Mississippi is more than a river, it's a living system. A corridor of migration, a cradle of evolution, a national treasure. And if we allow it to die, we'll lose far more than fish. We'll lose history, culture, health. We'll lose the otter diving beneath the willows, the heron standing still in the reeds, the chorus of frogs at dusk. We'll lose the sound of life that once echoed across every bend. The Mississippi has been poisoned, but it hasn't given up yet. Not if we act now. Not if we fight for what still swims. Because once the river goes quiet, we'll know we waited too long. And the animals, they won't come back.